Connor's Crazy Countdown.
Okay, alright, another tier list, and this one is probably my favourite actor, or at least one of my favourite actors. I am not sure why I haven't done a list on him yet, but this is the Tom Hanks list. I just want to double check that I've got all the ones that I saved. That I should have. I think out of most of the people, I have seen most of his films, just not much of his earlier stuff. So we're going to start with this one, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So this is a bibliography, a biblo whatever, of Mr. Rogers. Now, I being British, Mr. Rogers didn't particularly mean a great deal to me. Like, I never watched his show or anything like that growing up. The first time I was introduced to Mr. Rogers, funnily enough, was in the Casper movie, where he was on a TV and he was like, "Do you ever feel like whatever?" That was my first introduction to him.
Did you ever feel the way Priscilla Cow felt? That you'd like to be completely different? Almost everybody feels like that once in a while. But most of the time, I hope you can be glad to be yourself. That's really something to celebrate.
But then, growing up, I did learn a few bits more about him, and sadly his wife died, I think, last year or 2 years ago. That again was more introduction to him and his world and what he dealt with. But this I think was quite well done. Funnily enough, like, Tom Hanks over the last few years seems to have done quite a fair amount of bibliography films. He seems to be very good at them. But this one was alright. Again, the person he was portraying didn't particularly mean a whole lot to me. So if I had grown up with him in my childhood, probably would have meant more to me. But I think he did an alright job. This, haven't seen. This, haven't seen, but I've heard a fair bit more about this, and I would have liked to have seen this. Haven't seen. Right, so this, I should probably do, where is it? This first. There was the third one. The Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and Inferno. I don't know. Oh, there it is. There. Good. Right. So we got these three. I have not seen the third film, so just put that there. I had hoped to see it, and it was on my list to watch, but we'll start with this one. This is the Da Vinci Code. Now, I'm kind of indifferent to this movie. Like, I can see it or I cannot see it. It's not like one of my go-to Tom Hanks movies, but I can see it for what it is, and it is a good movie. Like, I think his acting's pretty good in this. He also acted alongside quite a famous French actress. I just can't remember her name. But me personally, it's not one of my go-to movies, so I personally am alright with it. Angels, I weirdly enough remember probably more about Angels and Demons and enjoyed Angels and Demons more. We also have Ewan McGregor in this. But again, personally, just alright for me. I have no big opinion about it. Inferno I've put down there, yes. So the next film is Apollo 13. So that's another like bibliography thing. This is based off a true story that happened. This stars, let's see if I can remember everyone's name. We've got Kevin Bacon. We've got, I know the guy's name, and it's really annoying me that I can't remember his name. He was also in Forrest Gump, and I really like him as an actor. He's the guy in CSI New York. Oh, but it's his name. See, I want to say like Mark Selick or something. It's not like, why can I not remember his name? Gary Sinise. Yes, Gary Sinise. Right. So we've also got Gary Sinise in it, and there was someone else, but I can't think who that is right now. But this was a very good movie. Outstanding. Not so sure about it. I haven't seen it that much, but it was a good movie. Like, I enjoyed it for what it was. This I have not seen. I have no opinion about this. This was like Tom Hanks' second movie. This, on the other hand, I have seen tons. Like, probably one of my most watched Tom Hanks movies. I love this movie. It just is an all-round good feel movie. It's got good cast in it as well. Sadly, a lot of them are now gone. Like, I can't remember the people's names. I'm very sorry, but the guy from Home Alone, the guy that played the dad, he was a big character in this. And we had the woman from Miracle on 34th Street. I think that's who it was. And then we've got the old guy. I'm so bad with the names, but yes, this was an outstanding movie. Like, who doesn't want to like experience themselves? Well, and maybe I'm in the minority, but it's interesting, like, to see yourself old when you're still young or something like that. You know, to see what you will become, but you're still young at heart. It just is. It's a great movie. It's a great story. Like, you can have the IQ of a tadpole or something. Like, you could be the dumbest person in the world and you would still understand what this movie is about. Basically, a child growing up because he just wanted to be older. He wished to be older and he became older, but it was only for a little while. But still, just an outstanding movie. And I definitely feel right now that I want to watch it again. Bridge of Spies, haven't seen, but I've heard it's good, so yeah. And here we go, another bibliography film, another true story thing. This is Captain Phillips. Personally, I didn't hate this film. Like, recently, so Tom Hanks did two films. He did like Sully and he did Captain Phillips, quite near to each other, two true stories. I didn't really care for Sully. I preferred Captain Phillips. There's also some memorable lines from this film. I think it was alright. It was a good portrayal. It was a good film. Just me personally, I'm not rushing back to watch it, but I would probably rush back to watch it over Sully. So it's a good film in that sense. Next we've got Castaway, which I kind of thought was based off a true story, but apparently not. This is, again, one of my favourite Tom Hanks movies, though it took me a long time to watch this film. Like, I had completely forgot about this film, and then I think, I can't even remember when I watched it the first time, but it was like, I think I had been thinking about like The Terminal or something, and I thought, oh, be cool if there was a movie or something about like drifting away. There was some reason why I took up to watch it, but I love this movie. Like, we've got memorable things like Wilson and all that, definitely up there. I can't remember the guy's name, the character that Tom Hanks plays, but basically he works for FedEx. He gets on a flight, bad things happen, and he ends up being cast away. And it just, this was also in my saddest moments. It has a heart-wrenching moment in it, which you're gonna have to watch that video if you want to know what that moment is. But I love this movie. This is why, like, Tom Hanks is such a good actor though, because you've got him in a comedic role, like a pretty funny role, and you got him in an extremely serious, sad role and whatever else. Like, right, now we move on to Catch Me If You Can. Now, Tom Hanks is not necessarily like the main character in this, it's more a double thing, but it's more Leonardo DiCaprio that's the main guy. I've not seen this film that much, but I get the premise of it. Like, Leonardo DiCaprio keeps escaping Tom Hanks' guy, and he keeps ending up outrunning him over and time again. It's alright. It's not a film I constantly watch or rush back to watch again. But it's an alright movie. Charlie Wilson's War, never heard of, never seen. Cloud Atlas, now I have seen this, but I have not seen the full film, and I have only seen it once, and I absolutely hated it. So, because I've not finished it, I can't have a full opinion about it, but from what I saw, I hated it, right? It might be an incredibly good, awesome movie, but I think from what I remember, it was just all over the place. Like, Tom Hanks played about 6 different characters, and it just was like, oh, we're going here now, oh no, we're here now, we're here. It was too confusing. I don't like movies like that. Like, Mamma Mia 2 had the same sort of premise around it, where it was like, 1 minute we're here, there's no straightforward story. Next we've got, what is this, Dragnet? I think it's called Dragnet. yes, this looks like a good movie. Like, it's got John Candy in it and Tom Hanks together. That sounds awesome. But I have no opinion about it because I haven't seen it. Elvis, I haven't seen either yet. I hope to see it at some point. It looks like a good movie, but again, no opinion of it, so it goes down here. Good. Something goodbye. What is this? Every time we say goodbye, no opinion of, never heard of it. Extremely loud, extremely loud and incredibly close. No idea. Finch, no idea. But you can see it's either like his really early stuff or his newer stuff that I don't particularly see. It's like a period of his films were just like exceptionally incredible, like from the early 90s up to about like 2010 or something. Like, he's had a great run of movies. Speaking of great run of movies, we have probably the best, most renowned, most talked about Tom Hanks movie of all time that is just outstanding in every way possible. Like, there will be a handful of people that don't care for this movie, but I mean, when it comes to like quotable movies and that, we've got Run, Forrest, Run.
Get you! Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest!
I have to pee and all other sorts. Like, it's just, oh, and like, this was made in what, the late 90s or something. The visual effects, like the fact that they made it look like Tom Hanks, like Forrest Gump was meeting Richard Nixon and meeting Lyndon B. Johnson and all, it was so well done. I absolutely love this movie. So there's no doubt about it. It's going well up here. And like, it might be like an exceptionally long movie, but it never once makes you bored. Like, the fact that he has all these adventures where he goes to like Vietnam and he's dealing with Bubba Gump shrimp, and he's dealing with the ping pong period. Like, there's just so many different things that happen in this that it's so exciting. And of course, he's got his girlfriend Jenny to worry about. It's just, oh, right. Greyhound, never seen. I doubt I will ever see as well. Something volcano. Joe versus the volcano. No idea. Larry Crow, I have seen once. I don't have much memory about. I probably put it in meh but I think it was a relatively good movie, but I haven't got much of an opinion on it because I've only seen it once. This looks confusing. This is Magnificent Desolation Walking on the Moon 3D. No idea about that. News of the World. No idea. Nothing in Common looks like a great movie, but again, no idea. Now this out of all of the movies I haven't seen, this is top of my list. I desperately want to see this movie. It's not been on Netflix yet, and it's not been anywhere else that I can seem to get, but I really want to see this movie. I personally am not going to put it in haven't seen because I have a strong opinion. Like, I want to see this. I'm currently going to put it in alright, just because I don't know about it, but I want to see this movie more than anything. I know the premise. Like, basically, Tom Hanks' character has, I think, was it leukemia or something? He had cancer, and I don't know if he was a criminal or something, but he was in court for a lot. I want to see this movie so much. This can go well down here in, well, awful. It could go much further down. I haven't seen it, but it's a live action remake about something that did not need to be remade. I hate live action remakes. My opinion about that is never going to change. They're a pointless concept that never needed to exist. Look at it this way: I have yet to see a live action remake that's good, right? That is my own personal opinion. There's people out there that love them, but no. I've watched maybe about 8 of them or something, and they're awful. I much prefer, like, when they do a new thing, like Maleficent. That's not a live action remake. It is its own story. Same with Cruella. I'm fine with them. They're a new concept. But when it's something that has already been done and already been done well, why would you come and make a stupid live action remake of it? Like, it took people years in the past to make a movie like this. Like, Pinocchio, the original Pinocchio, would have taken probably about 3 years to make, whereas this one would have taken just over a year. there's no like with animation you can do so much more. Like you can show more emotion, you can do more things. Like with this, you're stuck. Like you've got to rely on the people being able to express themselves. It's just no. This may very well be incredible or whatever, but I am set on it being in there. And I have nothing against Tom Hanks. No, I have everything against just the concept of these stupid remakes, right? Again, personal opinion. There might be people out there that don't like the animated stuff and much prefer the live action, but I will never change. I hate live action remakes. Punchline, they're down. Not seen it. What is this? Something Iron Road to Perdition. Not seen. This is quite a full list as well. Saving Mr. Banks. Now this is not a live action remake, but it is a live action Disney, and this is different. I actually like this because this is about the making of Mary Poppins, right? And it's a nice story. So we've got I can't remember her name, but we've got the creator of Mary Poppins who's very reluctant to sell her story, and then she ends up not liking all the music that's going into it and all her sorts. I like it, and it's going up there. Maybe I don't know. No, I think it was a good portrayal. Again, it's another bibliography thing. Now, here's a film that's renowned by a lot of people. A lot of people love Saving Private Ryan. I have watched it 2 or 3 times. I still can't fully get into it. I get the concept. You're trying to be a hero and save this guy called Ryan. But for me personally, it's a meh. It's not a film I watch often. It's not a film I enjoy watching often. It's just, as far as war films go, when I think a good war film, I think 1917. That was a good war film. Or I think I don't know about, what was it? I can't even remember what the name of it was. But I'm not the biggest fan of war films. 1917 was a very, very good war film. But aside from that, I'm not. Or Dunkirk. Dunkirk was pretty good. But it's not my go-to film. So Saving Private Ryan never really held a good place with me. I was never I like this, I want to watch this. Just my personal opinion. Sleepless in Seattle. So I kind of compared this to, where is it? I kind of compare it with You've Got Mail. These two I find are quite similar in a sense. But I prefer You've Got Mail. Sleepless in Seattle is okay. Again, I don't have much of an opinion about it. I remember some significant scenes, like they went up the Seattle Tower or whatever it's called. I remember that. But it's not a go-to film for me as well. It's a meh. I don't remember a whole lot about it. Splash, surprisingly enough, I haven't seen. I've always wanted to see as well, but I haven't seen it. I have no opinion about it. Now, this was Sully, so I was talking about it when I was talking about this. It's another bibliography. I just feel like, how do I put it? It wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. I felt they could have done so much more with this film. It just seemed I don't know. It seemed like the main event of it was over in seconds, if that makes sense. I waited this long, and yet nothing happened. Or what I thought was going to happen didn't happen. It was, of course, it's based off a true story, so you've got to be careful. But then, when you talk about this was well done, and you talk about this was well done, and this, well done. This, I feel, just a whole lot more could have happened. I think I would actually put it in meh. It's not one of my favourite films. No idea about this, never seen it. No idea about this, never seen it. The Burbs. Now, I feel like this is quite a forgotten about Tom Hanks film. This was one of the earliest ones I ever owned. I had it on video. And as a go-to movie, it was kind of funny. It had good fun. But the Burbs, the Burbs characters, one of them, passed away quite a while ago. But he was quite a good actor. I think I don't know, did he play? He played quite a catalogue of different characters over his time, but his Burbs character was quite good. I mean, like, it's also in some form relatable. I mean, you've always got, like, well, you've not always, but a lot of the time some people would have, like, a neighbour that they're a bit questionable about. They probably have a story about them, like, they're mysterious and you don't quite know what they're doing. I don't think it's the best Tom Hanks movie. It's alright, right? It's about there. I haven't seen The Circle, but it's on my list to watch, and I'm probably never going to get round to watching it. The Great Buck Howard, never watched. Okay, I'm going to save you because you need time. The Ladykillers, never watched. The Man with One Red Shoe I've heard of often, but this is like one of his earliest films. And every time I see this, I just think of Tropic Thunder, the Simple Jack. That's what always comes to mind every time I see this, right? But I don't know if that's actually true. The Money Pit, I don't remember seeing. The Post, never seen. And I'll also get rid of this one, never seen, but it looks good. The rest of these, though, I have seen, so I can actually talk about these ones. Right, so basically, this was like one of my I loved The Simpsons growing up. Like, it was my favourite TV show. And then when I heard a movie was coming out, I cried. I was so happy. The movie itself, like, looking back at it now, is not the best thing in the world. It serves its purpose. It's The Simpsons. It's a movie about The Simpsons. It's fine, right? Tom Hanks' role in this, though, was like, it was gone in a second. Basically, Tom Hanks talked about, I'm not even sure, he talked about like a Grand Canyon or something, or he talked about like where Springfield is or something. Could you point Springfield out on a map or something? It was tiny.
I'm Tom Hanks. The U.S. government has lost its credibility, so it's borrowing some of mine.
Tousle my hair, Mr. Hanks.
Sure thing, son. Now, I'm pleased to tell you all about the new Grand Canyon. Coming this weekend. It's east of Shelbyville and south of Capital City.
That's where Springfield is.
It's nowhere near where anything is or ever was.
The movie itself, though, I was way more hyped for it. And I mean, I think if I'd made this list like 10 years ago or so, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, the best movie ever. But it's alright. It's about there. Right, so is this the first, apart from Simpsons movie? Yeah, this is the first animated film we've got for him. Apart from that, of course. So this is the Polar Express. Now, I said that with the Christmas movies, this is like one that I'd always watch. I would watch Home Alone, and I'd watch the Santa Claus probably more than I'd watch the Polar Express. Or Elf. I mean, Elf, who doesn't watch Elf at Christmas? The Polar Express, though, it's okay. Its animation for the time was probably epic, but looking back at it now, it's a bit bizarre. And then we've got like random music bits, like they're just thrown in there. But I mean, Tom Hanks' characters, yes, he plays multiple in this, are really quite good. And the story, the premise is quite good too. I think as far as a kid's like adventure film goes, it's good. I put it about there. Okay. Now we've got another bibliography, another series, another whatever, The Terminal. It took me a while to watch this film too, but when I did, top tier. I really quite like this movie. It's about a guy who cannot leave the airport, and he has to stay in the airport until eventually he gets to leave. But obviously that's the simplified version. There's a lot more to it, but it's just interesting, like what he does for food, what he does for sleeping, what he does whilst he's in there, like how creative he gets, how he falls in love with someone, and they date in certain places. It's a really quite good movie, and I would put it up here. I do really think it's well done and most enjoyable. And now we get on to some classics, in a sense, the Toy Story series. So I think out of animated movies for me goes, like, Toy Story is by far one of my favourites. Like, this came out the year I was born, and actually it came out quite near to my birthday as well. Same with this one. This came out around my birthday, this came out around my birthday, and this came out around my birthday. So the Toy Story series itself kind of holds a big place in my heart. It's like my movies in a sense. But going through them, so Toy Story, the first one, amazing, outstanding, brilliant, and a whole new way of animating for the time. And at this point, Toy Story wasn't Pixar in a sense, it was still Disney owned. But I mean, the amount of quotes you can get from this, like, "You are a toy, you're a child's plaything, you're a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity, farewell," you know? And then we've got Blaster, a Buzz Lightyear, no way, the Claw, it's just insane. It was also the beginning of John Ratzenberger nearly being in every single one. Sadly, as well, I recently found out who the voice of like Slinky was. He was the guy that did all the... Is it National Lampoon? Is that who it was? No, I think it's Ernest. It's Ernest Goes to This Place. I'd never really seen those movies, but to know that was the guy that did the voice of Slinky was quite crazy. We've also, like, over the past few years, we've lost some big legends from it. Like, we've lost Mr. Potato Head, we've lost Mrs. Potato Head. Like, we lost her this year, or was it no, I think it was last year. Earlier on, anyways, we lost her. We've lost Slinky. We've lost we lost the soldier as well. The soldier, Sarge. He was the guy from that war movie that I still can't remember. So we've lost quite a lot from this movie, or from these movies. But Toy Story, no doubt about it. Love this movie. Always will love this movie. Classic. Toy Story 2. I think like it was quite a sizable gap as well. I think the first one came out in like 1995. The second one came out in, was it like 1999 or 2000? It was quite a gap. It was still a good follow-up movie, and I had some quite sad points in it. Some kind of nice music here and there. I don't think just as a sequel it was good. I don't think it was quite as good as Toy Story 1, so it's not going up there. Now this is where we get into dark territory, or varied opinions. Toy Story 3, I wasn't the biggest fan of. I was okay with it. The bad guy was interesting. The story was somewhat interesting, but it was like, what was it, like a tired thing at this point? It was like, oh, the toys come to life, hey. But it was okay, and as far as like the collection goes, this was a good ending in a sense. But then for some reason they decided, let's make another one. I'm not like fully against this movie. It still had some good points to it, but it's like we got Belle back. We got Bo Peep back. We got introduced to a couple of interesting new characters, but honestly, meh. I did not care for Toy Story 4 that much. It felt really just pointless. Like, this left on such a good note that why is there another one? I also heard that they've planned to make another one, I think, or they were talking about another one. Like, sometimes, you know, it's just good to stop. Like, it needs to end. But yeah. Right, 3 films left. So, we've got Turner and Hooch. Now, there's been a TV show that's come out recently about Turner and Hooch. I've had no opinion about it because I've never seen it, and I don't really care to see it. This is like the only Turner and Hooch for me. Basically, I think Tom Hanks' character's a cop or something. Hooch the dog was a dog of some old sailor or something. It's been a while since I've seen this film. Like, I can remember a fair few bits of what happens, but there's some quite sad scenes in this. I think it's alright. Again, it's not like something I'm particularly rushing back to watch, but I enjoyed it enough. I'm going to do this one next. You've Got Mail. So, like I said, I compare this to Sleepless in Seattle. I think they're both similar sort of thing, but I prefer this. Basically, it's two people that met via messaging, and then I think they meet in real life, but they don't realise who they are at that point. But then they actually have their meeting, and it's a very nice film. I think it's awesome. I do think it's awesome. Again, like, I've probably seen it a handful of times, but now we've got the final film, and it is an outstanding film. We have a all-star cast again. We've got Michael Clark Duncan, sadly no longer with us, but he did an amazing job portraying, I think his name was Mike or something, I'm not sure, I cannot remember what his name is, but he did an amazing job portraying him. Then we've got Tom Hanks, of course. We've got a few other big actors, but I can't remember their names right now. But it's just an outstanding film. It's well acted. It's a clear story of what's going on. I love this film. Like, I actually feel like I might prefer this to Forrest Gump, but I can't be certain. Both those films are like, just like, these three films here, incredible works of art, and it makes you just realise how good an actor Tom Hanks is. Like, you can go from something like this to something way more serious like this, and then you have something he's just incredible. He's an actor I would love to meet in real life, but I don't ever see that happening anytime soon. But anyways, with that is the end of the episode. So on our outstanding, we've got Forrest Gump, we've got The Green Mile, Castaway, Toy Story, Big, and The Terminal. We've got Apollo 13, Saving Mr. Banks, Toy Story 2, You've Got Mail in Awesome, and the rest you can see. Again, this is here, though I've never seen it, but I really believe it might actually go further up if I do ever get to seeing it. But yeah, of course, this as well I haven't seen, but I just can't stand live action remakes. Pinocchio, the original version, is the only Pinocchio for me, so that is why this is here. But I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Of course, you have your own opinions, and you'll very much disagree with what I've done and chose and whatever else, but I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and until next time, whatever I do, bye.